So it finally appears that Jalen Ramsey's time with the Miami Dolphins is finally coming to an end. He tweeted out on X that, quote, a new chapter is ready to begin. So it seems like it's a matter of time before he gets moved. A lot of people speculated that he would head back to the LA Rams, which on paper makes a ton of sense. They are a championship caliber team right now. Plus, overall, they're just a super aggressive franchise. They go out and get players. And of course, Jalen used to play for them. So it made a lot of sense on paper. But Sean McVay shut those rumors down, unfortunately. To be honest, I'm surprised that Jalen Ramsey hasn't been moved yet because it was reported that he's been on the trade block since around April. And sure, he's not in the prime of his career anymore. He's not a top 5 corner, but I think he's in that top 15 range or top 20 range. And I'm sure the Dolphins aren't asking for a whole lot, probably a third and a fourth, somewhere along those lines. You know, obviously you're not going to acquire like a first round pick or a second for Jalen Ramsey. So if the price is only like a third, fourth, or maybe a fifth, I'm just surprised he hasn't been moved yet. You know, if I'm a team, playoff caliber team, championship caliber team, even a playoff bubble sort of team, why not go and get Jalen Ramsey for a year or two? It just makes too much sense to me personally. And as far as for the Miami Dolphins, this could be a sign of what this year might potentially look for them in 2025. It could get really ugly. A lot of people don't have high hopes for the squad going into 2025. I'm included in that. The whole Tua thing is just so, I'm tired of it. I just don't know how you could go and bank on having a good season when he's your quarterback. I am happy that they acquired Zach Wilson as their QB2. I think he is going to come in there in 2025 and probably make some plays, maybe get a few wins. But I don't know if Zach Wilson can take that Miami squad to the playoffs. That defense is very questionable. You know, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle had awful years a year ago, and partly was that because of Tua was hurt, of course, but the fact that they just had no production with their backup quarterbacks was just kind of alarming. It's almost like they checked out mentally, but at the same time, I don't really blame them. You know, Dolphins management didn't put that team in the best position to be successful at all. I mean, when your quarterback too is Skylar Thompson and Snoop Huntley, what are we talking about here? Those are like UFL caliber quarterbacks at best. I don't even think those guys are QB2s, man. They're threes or practice squad guys. So, I don't know, man. I just hope Tua can stay healthy. Tyreek, Jalen can put up big numbers again. But I just don't really see that happening throughout the entire duration of the 2025 season. So I'm just giving you a little heads up that it might be a bit of an ugly season in Miami. I don't see this team making the playoffs, but you never know. NFL is wild. Life is wild. It can be unpredictable at times. So who knows? Maybe the Dolphins can be a surprise team in 2025. I'm curious, do you agree with me on how I view the Dolphins for the 2025 season? Let me know in the comments down below. Now back to Jalen Ramsey. Honestly, the news and rumors on him have been pretty sparse. Not a lot of teams connected to him. Even though there are reports that he's generating a lot of buzz, not a lot of actual teams have leaked. There is one favorite to land him as of today, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. They fit the criteria very well. In my opinion, kind of like a loose championship caliber team. I know JJ McCarthy is a complete unknown, but it's definitely a playoff caliber team. And hypothetically, if JJ's good and he could stay healthy, I really think this team could make an NFC championship appearance. Why not? I feel like that defense is going to be a lot better than what it was a year ago. And for the first part of 2024, that defense was really, really great. So year 2 with their defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, I just think that continuity is going to be really beneficial to that defense. And not only that, man, but they added a plethora of O-linemen to just boost up that O-line. They brought back Aaron Jones. They even traded for Jordan Mason, so that run game looking pretty nice there. And of course, you still have Addison, you still have Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, the whole squad. So it's all on JJ McCarthy. If JJ is decent to pretty good, sky's the limit for that team. So Jalen Ramsey to the Minnesota Vikings makes a lot of sense. Now, if I had to predict other landing spots for Jalen Ramsey, it would make a lot of sense for the Dolphins to trade him to an NFC team. So to keep that in mind, I feel like the Eagles are always going to be in the conversation just because they are a championship caliber team, of course. And not only that, but Howie, Jeffrey, those two guys are super aggressive, and they've been aggressive for a hot minute now. So I'm sure they're interested in Jalen Ramsey, and of course, that would be a really, really good fit. And I just feel like if the Eagles are going to repeat, I feel like he would probably be a big piece. Darius Slay is no longer on the team. CJ Gardner-Johnson no longer on the team. So add another corner back there with Cooper and Mitchell. Not a bad move in my opinion. In fact, I love that move. Also, you have the Detroit Lions. Of course, they are in their Super Bowl window, even though they have yet to make a Super Bowl appearance. We all know the story about their team, especially their defense a year ago, banged up with injuries, just completely destroyed their season. So Jalen Ramsey would be absolutely beneficial to that defense. Corner is definitely the weak spot on that defense. They lost Carlton Davis to the Patriots. So Jalen Ramsey to the Lions, I like that move a lot as well. And the last team I could see him going to is the Washington Commanders. You know, Jaden Daniels is on his rookie deal right now, and when quarterbacks are on their first contract in the NFL, that means it's time to add as much talent around him as you can. And because of that, I know it may sound kind of crazy, but the Washington Commanders are in their Super Bowl window just because of Jaden Daniels' contract right now. He's not making as much money as he will when he gets that second contract. So now is the time to be aggressive. And, you know, just this past offseason, the Commanders added Deebo Samuel. So they're definitely trying to push it. They're definitely trying to help Jaden. Now I feel like to add a piece on that secondary, because I feel like that secondary wasn't the best a year ago. So to add Jalen Ramsey there, hopefully Marshawn Lattimore bounces back a little bit. You know, you could have a decent little cornerback duo right there for the 2025 season. So those are the four most likely teams where I think Jalen Ramsey will end up on. 1, the Vikings. 2, Eagles. 3, Lions. 4, Commanders. Now, in my dream world, where would I want to see him go? I think it would be pretty cool to see him on the Eagles, honestly. I'm not sure how long Jalen wants to keep playing in the NFL. Not to say he's really old, but he's already a Super Bowl champion, and he kind of is not in the back half of his career, but slowly approaching that. So I feel like if I'm Jalen Ramsey, I would definitely want to go to Philadelphia if he wants to win another Super Bowl. So yeah, man, let me know where you think Jalen will go. Who knows, by the time I upload this, he might already have been moved to a team. So let me know what you think. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
And he throws it there and gets another completion. First down at the 24. Hall's in on the tackle. Well, anytime you're talking about a successful run in the NFL, the running back is going to be a big part of that. Breaking tackles, but this time it was just the vision of the running back. He picked the right hole and picked up some nice yards. The Jets have been involved in some tight games these past 2 weeks. They won one last week, but now they trail in another close one, Phil. Jim, in these close games, which we seem to see almost every single week, it usually comes down to which team doesn't turn the football over. Now on first down, every snap crucial the rest of the way. The Patriots signal for a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Second down coming up. Time, obviously, a factor
after the rest of the way. 2nd and 12. Amaro with the reception. Lions in on the tackle. The defense stops the clock. 3rd down coming up. Needing a first at this point. Mason's got on the handle. That's McCourty making the stop. And the timeout is called, so we're going to take a quick break and return in just a moment. 1st down. Pressure on every snap now. That defensive front looks impenetrable here on the goal line. High towers all over the ball carrier.
What a job by the defense down on the goal line. They were playing run all the way. It was a run. They got the penetration, and they tackled the runner for a loss.
Huge play coming up. Offense looking for one more play to make. He's averaged about 2 yards a carry on the day.